Yeah, welcome to the Boss Cowboy Measure Koolaid report, and this one is very important. Don't sleep on this one. This is one you got to stay with because I'm gonna build a case on this. Because from what I'm seeing, Dan Quinn is trying to get up out of Dallas. Just being honest, Dan Quinn is trying to get up out of Dallas. I warned about this when I did a video on Anthony Barr, and a lot of this stuff, and I'm gonna have that video in the description. And I'm gonna come back to that, and let's just talk about it. All right, because this is what's going on. So Mike Fisher came out yesterday and he said, with an interesting article, he said say the word, I'm gone. Dan Quinn reveals talk with Cowboys coach Mike McCarthy. And I warned y'all about this, but this is the key quote. This is the key quote right here, where he said, there will be a time when I'm definitely interested in being a head coach for the second time, said Quinn. So isn't it funny now that the season is starting to get off, he's already putting out there to the potential suitors, hey y'all, I'm gonna be definitely interested this time. Okay, and I warned y'all about this. And see, somebody jumped in when I did that video. Boss, sometimes you need to quit. Boss, sometimes you need to stop. But see, this is the truth. And see, just stay with this one because I'm gonna put this all together. So as you go through the article, right, you see some very important stuff. And he says Quinn regarding his talk with Mike McCarthy about his decision to remain with the Cowboys this offseason while spurning possible chances to again be a head coach elsewhere. And Mike Fisher got the quote where he said, if it's easy for me to go, just say the word and I'm gone. Right? So, and then he also talked about that it was the money that he received from Jerry that also aided in that too. That's what this part is talking about. But then he said, but it was also key was McCarthy's willingness to selflessly work alongside an accomplished assistant who is now seen as a possible heir to the Cowboys' top job should Mike McCarthy somehow falter. Okay. So I was like, now check this out. I was like, hey man, let's talk about it and see what you think. Quinn said of his talk with McCarthy in a US Today visit. If it's easier for me to go, just say the word and I'm gone. Then McCarthy kind of laughed and said, you know, if it was 10 years ago, I say, yeah, it would help for you to go. But I want to say that right now because I think winning is better with you here. He said Jones has said his position of Quinn as an immediate head coach candidate in Dallas was a result of the owner playing poker, trying to deceive potential suitors. That seems a bit revisionist history, but in the end, McCarthy, who has the my guy support of QB Prescott, feels secure in his skin not being threatened. So let's talk about this, man. Let's measure this Kool-Aid on this whole thing. And y'all just gotta stay with this because it's the most important thing is how this stuff came about. Okay, that's the most important thing. It's the how did all this stuff come about. So we go to the background of what happened, catch it all the way up. Then we go talk about why likely Dan Quinn is trying to get up out of here. And let me just keep it real with everybody. Take it how you want, but I'm gonna keep it real with everybody. So this is what really happened. So in the off season, Jerry Jones put it out in the public, made it controversial that basically he was low-key offering Dan Quinn the job to be the head coach of Dallas while Mike McCarthy was the head coach. See, that's the background of this article that's not mentioned. The background of why Dan Quinn went to Mike McCarthy, because he was like, man, this is crazy. Like the fact that our owner is putting my name in the hat to take your job. That's why he went to him. And that's why he said, that's the key part. That's the keeper. That's why he said initially, say the word, I'm gone. That's why he said that. So let's just kind of get into the background and just let Mike McCarthy tell you. All right. So here we go.
Part of the criticism coming your way seems to be in a veiled way from the man who signed your checks, to be very honest with you. Jerry Jones, in a story written on DallasCowboys.com, was talking about Dan Quinn coming back to your fold and mentioning how Sean Payton and Jason Garrett stuck around for a long time as assistants in Dallas because, quote, every one of those three coaches have said they'd love to be the head coach of the Dallas Cowboys. So my point is that has, in my mind, a lot of logic as to why they might not take a job now rather than one or wait and see how the cards go in the future. The follow-up question was kind of obvious. Like, what about your current head coach, Mike McCarthy? And the quote was, Mike knows that someday somebody other than him will be coach of the Cowboys. What do you think about that supposition, Coach?
So before I kind of finish that, I was warning about this. I was real life warning about this because I was watching Jerry basically what we call unsully, and that's where you cut the private parts off a man. You unsully him, you cut him. We was watching Jerry Jones unsully in the public in broad daylight Mike McCarthy, his own coach. And I warned, I said, Mike McCarthy, if he want to continue to, and you talking to me in the public like I'm a bum, and then you hold on real quick. And I was warning that Mike McCarthy is gonna have to respond if he go have the respect of his men. Watch what I said before he came out to Rich Eisen. Listen to this. Go run me out there and expect my men to respect me. I'm going to tell you what Jerry asking for. Jerry is asking for, at some point, Mike McCarthy is going to have to stand up for himself. Because, see, on a personal level, if you talk to me behind closed doors and all of that, I'm going to be a whole lot more humble than when I have to go home and look my kids in their eyes and they looking at me like, Daddy, are you getting disrespected by your boss? Why is he talking to you like that? And then that man pride start to rise up. Y'all know what I'm talking about. That man pride. When you and your wife having a conversation about this in the bed at night. And she like, baby, we ain't got to take this, baby. We good. We good. Our kids going to college. See, eventually, you ain't gonna keep disrespecting me like this. And it's gonna blow up. It's gonna be some kind of way. Y'all mark my words. It's gonna be some kind of way Mike McCarthy go show his frustration with Jerry. The way that Jerry keep picking at him. And sure enough, that's when he went on Rich Eisen's show. That is exactly what happened. I mean, exactly what happened. And I knew he was going to do it. I knew he was going, because he had to do it. Like, how do you keep the respect of your team? How do you keep the respect of your men while allowing your owner to basically unsully you? So this is why he showed his frustration on Rich Eisen's show. And we going back to it. Listen.
Mike McCarthy.
Oh, so we have an hour, correct?
The floor is yours. The time's yours, as Andy Reid might say in the media. So, what do you think?
Well, I think it's a number of things. I mean, I think number one, I think it's every landscape in this league is different. I've been very fortunate to work at two of the premier organizations in pro football. And they're all different. So and I think clearly in this in this situation, the way things are done here, there's a bigger picture focus, and I've always frankly just keep it about winning, and I've always kind of taken taking a blind eye or blind ear to those things, but that's not the case when you work here. So I mean, I think clearly when you look at those type of comments, I think you have to understand the platform where they come from. I mean, I have an excellent relationship with Jerry Jones. We talk on a regular basis about everything and anything, big picture, tight focus on what we're doing, program wise, and more importantly, his biggest interest is, the development of our players, especially our young players. So, but when I look at the comments, I mean, the thing about Dan, Dan Quinn being here was very important to me and our organization. I think it's the reality of it is, Dan and I had visited long before he ever took a head coach interview, frankly, long before the playoffs even started, about how happy he is here, and I envy him in some ways where, as a head coach, you get pulled away from the things that really would help you advance in this league. So, I mean, the joy that he was having.
That's also big clue what he said right there, where he said, I, in some ways, envy Dan Quinn because as a head coach, you get pulled away from things that help you advance in this league. Well, what could he be talking about? What helped you advance in this league? Could that be you basically saying you got pulled away from calling plays?
Yoga fire, yoga flame.
Are you low-key saying that if you could, you would step in and call plays over Kellen Moore, but you can't because you was pulled away?
Yoga fire.
That's another subject, but let's continue.
Having coordinating, he's been a tremendous asset for me, personally and professionally. Just having another individual with the experience of a head coach. So, we talked about him staying here, long before he even took the interview. Now, obviously, when he took the interview, and then this narrative broke out.
Listen, so Mike McCarthy say, man, I was talking about him staying before he even started interviewing, but then this comment happened and it broke out. Listen,
I think in reflection to the relationship that Dan and I do have, he just said, hey man, if I'm not comfortable with this narrative, if you really feel like I need to take one of these jobs, just be honest with him. And we kind of laughed about it, and I just said, Dan,
all right, and that's what this article is talking about. See, it didn't talk about the background. It mentioned it slightly, but it didn't really talk about the background of why he came to him, and he said, I was like, hey man, let's talk about it and see what you think. See, it wasn't just, hey man, let's just talk about it. Dan Quinn came to Mike McCarthy like, man, let's talk about it because this is crazy what Jerry just did, basically putting out in the public that he could see me having your job. That's what he was talking about. So this didn't just happen willy-nilly where they were just having a conversation. It was like, just say the word and you're gone. Oh man, 10 to 15 years ago, I would have been like, no. He was coming to Mike McCarthy because of what Jerry was doing. And he was saying, man, this is dysfunctional. Say the word and I'm out. That's what he was saying.
12 years ago, I'd tell you, please get the hell out of here. I don't want to deal with this. But the reality of it is, I'm about winning. He's about winning. And the best thing for the Cowboys is for Dan Quinn to be here. And, obviously it was his decision, his alone. But, I clearly wanted him to know from the start of all that, I wanted him here because it's in the best interest of us winning. I've been at this a long time, Rich. I understand how hard it is to win a Super Bowl, and so the best thing for us, one of the best for our opportunity to be at the forefront of how we want to do it here, it's having Dan Quinn. So as far as what happens next and all that, I think that's really just part of the landscape. Jerry's the owner, he's the GM, and I mean he's always taking a 360-degree view of everything. And I think it's like anything in life. We have a lot of one-on-one conversations. We discussed all these things. I never once felt that I was not going to be the head coach moving forward. And frankly, I've been at this long enough. That's all I'm focused on. And I think the players, the coaches, football operations is my main hold. I'm the leader of this football team, and I'm about winning. And that's all I've ever focused on, and that's all I ever will focus on. And are these narratives unusual? Absolutely.
Oh my God. Are these narratives unusual? Absolutely. I'm gonna say that again. This is somebody with head coach, and he say, is what I'm going through with Jerry throwing me under the bus in the public after 12-5 season unusual? Absolutely. This doesn't happen. This is the only team this happens with, basically. That's what he's saying. This is unusual. And we almost lost Dan Quinn because of this.
I've never dealt with anything like this. Do I wish I didn't have to come on here and answer questions about it? Yeah, no doubt about it. I wish we were talking about something else, but it is part of our landscape, and
it's how it is here. It's part of our landscape.
I just think keeping things real and keeping things focused, because at the end of the day, it's about the people that you're in charge of. It's about the people you coach, and most importantly, it's about our locker room. And our locker room's about winning.
And that's exactly why I said in my warning video that he was gonna have to respond, because I knew if you're about winning, you can't let your owner undress you and then take your authority and take the what's called cohesive power, the ability to punish, and take the strength right away from you in broad daylight, but then ask me to go lead alpha men. I knew it. I said, if he go try to restore 2022, he's gonna have to respond to Jerry publicly, and he did. That's why I predicted it, and that's why I got it right. That's why I got it. But this is the deal. So, because there's something else that's going on, and that's why I warned in this Anthony Barr video. I said, man, what does it mean for the Dallas Cowboys? See, and this is what I believe, because I predicted that he was going to respond. He did. I also predicted I predicted Dan Quinn, based on his offseason, is not going to want to be here. Somebody jumped in my inbox in the comments, boss, you need to quit. Boss, you need to stop. All right, cool. But see, I'm telling you the truth, and some people just can't handle it. And I was telling y'all, and this is what's going on. Y'all really stay with me. Dan Quinn and Mike McCarthy are rallying together because they believe that they have the raw tools to win a Super Bowl with this team. That's what's going on. They believe it. Okay. And so what they did in the offseason, they know they dealing with dysfunction in the front office. You heard that. That's not me making that up. That's him saying it directly, Mike McCarthy. So they both know they dealing with dysfunction. That's why they had that conversation about say the word and I'm gone. All right. But they said, but Will McClay has got us in a rare situation where we got some crazy athletes. We got Dak, we got CeeDee Lamb, we got Amari Cooper, we got Ezekiel Elliott, we got this offensive line with Zach Mark and T. Smith. And I trust, watching Will McClay work, that he gonna be able to restock us. We can probably go right back, Dan. Before you leave, you know how hard it is to get a Super Bowl, even though we dealing with dysfunction at the top. We got an opportunity here. Let's rally together and let's give it a run. That's what happened. But then, obviously, for people that been keeping up, Dan Quinn has been lobbying, obviously, for a middle linebacker. And he hasn't gotten it. He been lobbying for a veteran. I already showed y'all the article where it showed that Dan Quinn himself was in talks with Bobby Wagner. And then I said, this is why I warned. I warned, just like I did, that he was going to have to respond. I also warned, saying in this video, keeping it real, I also warned that if you know that you real close and you need one key piece, the middle linebacker, and you got a guy that wants to play for you, won a Super Bowl with you, a leader that can also mold this young developing linebacker core, and Steven didn't get it done, that was to me when Dan Quinn was like, I got to get up out of here. And I warned that was going to happen, because how can you do what Dan Quinn did and built that defense the way that he did? And then I'm basically telling you, I'm in talks right now, Steven, with Bobby Wagner. He wants to come here. He wants to play for me, but you don't get it done. That communicates to Dan Quinn that y'all not serious about trying to win this Super Bowl, because I needed a key piece. And it was the same piece that I warned Boss Cowboy Sports, I warned that we needed. And behind the scenes, Dan Quinn was saying the same thing. I put it in my book before any of this happened that the number one need was middle linebacker. When you look at the injury history of LVE, trying to keep Parsons as a protected queen on the chessboard, and a whole lot of other dominoes that made sense. So now that's why you hearing him say at the beginning of the season, and I'm just keeping it real, if you can't handle the truth, I can't do nothing for you. But that's why he now saying there will be a time when I'm definitely interested. And that's why you hearing it now, because he watching it unfold. And I'm going to tell you right now, that's the same thing Mike McCarthy was doing on that Rich Eisen interview. He was putting it out there that if I get clipped by this front office, he wanted the whole world to know what was really going on so that I can get a future head coaching job. Dan Quinn is also doing that same thing right now. He letting everybody know I'm interested. So once I get past this season, call me. And this is the sad part. It's not because they just ambitious and want to be head coaches other places. They want to win a Super Bowl here. They being ran off. And they being ran off based on how they been treated. Just being honest. You like, I'm Dan Quinn. Hey, just give me this middle linebacker, Bobby Wagner. His cap hit gonna only be $4 million with the Rams. He done already showed me his contract. Let's match that and let's get to this Super Bowl. Oh no, we need to make sure we get him at the right price. We need to make sure we get him at the right price. And Dan over here like, what? Bobby Wagner came off a career and y'all talking about haggling over price? Yeah. So that's what's going on. So, I mean, a lot of people go probably come in this and be like, oh, well, it's a conspiracy theory. Yeah, okay, whatever. I was sure right when I said Mike McCarthy was going to have to speak out in the public, and he sure did. And that don't happen. I said he was going to have to if he was going to try to win his team back, and he did. So I'm keeping the lookout for this, and this is why I warned. The future of Dan Quinn is going to depend on the performance of those linebackers. I already said that. I said it clear as day. It's going to depend on the performance of those linebackers and Will McClay being able to get bargain linebackers to work, because he will not and does not have no faith in his front office. I'm going to say that again. And I'm saying it way before it happened. And I'm not trying to be, I told you so. All I'm doing is reading these tea leaves and I'm putting it out there as it is. But this is definitely Measured Koolaid from the Measured Koolaid report. And y'all keep y'all eyes on this stuff, because I'm definitely keeping my eyes on this stuff. And y'all also make sure y'all like, share, and subscribe to this content, because I'm keeping it real over here, man. I'm not faking. I'm not being phony. I'm not giving y'all no funk trash boo-boo. You know what I mean? This is all real. So y'all stay up, man, with Boss Cowboy Sports, where your voice matter. Peace.